All right, guys, I had to come on. I hope you're having a beautiful Monday. Happy President's Day. I had to come on today to share what I think is going to be. I don't know if I'd call it the trade of the year, but if it happens, it could be even bigger than the APP trade that we called out in January. And so I wanted to come on. It's a super rainy and cold Monday. I hope you guys are staying safe wherever you are, but I'm staying inside recording this video, but you could probably hear the rain outside. It's pretty rough. And so I wanted to come on and just share this idea with you guys. Again, as anything in trading, it's risky. It could potentially not even happen, but the setup looks really, really good. And so what am I looking at? This video is purely dedicated to SNDK. If you guys don't know, SanDisk is a breakaway from Western Digital. It was a spin away not that long ago, last year, almost a year ago now. And so this was a stock that was $36, and then the memory space completely went parabolic, right? So we went from essentially a $30, $40 stock all the way up to 700. Obviously, we know this is a squeeze play, but this leg pretty much went out with little to no consolidation from 281 up to 7, almost 800 bucks, right? And so when we have that type of stretch, we're waiting for some type of confirmation. For a lot of you guys who like to short the market, there's definitely different strategies when it comes to shorting, but shorting into some type of consolidation where your risk is defined and you have an upper limit where you can cut the idea, that's always good, rather than trying to short these sort of parabolic moves and trying to find the top and then you're essentially squeezed out, right, on the next trade. And so clearly now we have some consolidation, we've had some failure. I would almost call this a failure to fail because we try to retry, but you can clearly see this top right here, this level here. And so I've actually been shorting SNDK. I don't necessarily play the long play, although you could, ride the momentum. But I have a pretty good read of this stock. And so I'm kind of a late comer to the stock. I got more involved after earnings, which was right in here. I wasn't really messing with the stock on this move. And so once you start to see these sort of massive candles, massive gap up candles, you see obviously the doji candle up here. So I started to get involved, and I've been playing this almost as part of my daily trading if the move is there. And so clearly you can see here that 663 level, right? So what happened, right? We came here, this was earnings, we failed that level, closed that gap on earnings. We retraced that level, there's a seller. We squeezed out and had a doji candle here. And since then we haven't retested that 694. So we got a bunch of people stuck and we flushed out. And then we've been holding this bottom. Now this candle here bothers me because this is not a true support. You can see there was this sort of where the buyers pushed this thing up, and this candle kind of came down on this tail, and then we kind of trace to this little candle here. And so to me, this is not a valid support, right? Our supports are the breakout. So when we consolidate like we did down here, this is the breakout at $500, right? This is the breakout zone for this next leg. And so when we're retracing kind of this sort of new leg up and trying to slowly come back, this is to me no more than just trying to keep the option traders out of the trade, just, keeping, guys who are shorting the market, potentially margin called. But if you don't kind of know this sort of move, we can look at Tesla, which had a very similar setup at the 500, which we also discussed on this channel, right? So if you guys remember, Tesla did the same thing, right? We're right here at the 500. So we clearly had this level of 500. We couldn't break it. We tried it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 times, and then we finally faded and we had some negative momentum, right? And so I see the same setup on SNDK. And so how is this trade valid for tomorrow? I see the fact that we have failed the 660 level, and there's clearly a seller up here, and we can't get over this sort of 660 level. And so this trade idea is valid specifically for tomorrow, assuming we open right here around 610, 612 and below. If we open anything up here, 615, 620 or above, the trade is not valid. It can be potentially later on, but the idea is for an open for me up here at the 6. This is going to be the open level here of this candle, which I believe is 610. So 610, 6, somewhere in there. And I see a flush candle all the way down here at the first level. People are going to start buying at the 20-day, which will be the 550 level, and then another level 540. But I can see us potentially flushing and getting really serious if we can get a good red candle, solid rejection candle down to 502. Now again, that's very aggressive. That's a 100-point move, but don't be surprised, because we've switched to negative momentum, we're still on the oversold, and we rejected this price 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, essentially 5, 6 times now. And so again, the trade to me, and the reason why I wanted to make this video, was if we can open right below this level, and you can risk, 5, 6 points, whatever your risk management is, right? You don't want to risk too much, but the idea is if it opens right at this candle, that we can close and actually see. So what I will be doing, if that's valid, I will be shorting and I will be buying puts, just like I did here. So right here at this level, 590 is the low, 586. So when this thing was moving up to the 660 level, which I saw Friday, I actually bought some puts at 590. And by the end of the day, it was about a 30–40% return in a couple hours. I think it was like 2–3 hour hold time. So I got out of it. Specifically, not because I don't believe in the trade, because we could open up gap a lot lower tomorrow, but it's just the fact that it's a 3-day holiday. And so if you're buying an option that expires near term, specifically it was for this Friday, and you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday gone, and Tuesday's your next trading day, you don't know how the market's going to open. And so why hold on to that? And so if you're already up pretty decent, get out of it, see if the trade comes in tomorrow. And so again, looking for a short at the 610 level, all the way back down here. When people start buying at the 20, I see it coming down. And again, we may get some consolidation, right? Some bounce where people are buying the shares, and then the sellers will continue to push this thing down. But near term, SNDK, I see the $500 level coming to fruition. So with that said, guys, good luck. We'll see if it happens tomorrow. It's an idea for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, February 17th. If you have any questions on that trade or any other trade, feel free to post it below. I'd love to engage with you guys if you have a specific question. And good luck tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see that play. And also for SLV, I'll mention on a different video, but it looks like it's going to be about a $61 put is what I'm looking at for the next few days for a retracement back then when we had an ultimate flush. Okay, so 60.61 is what I'm looking at for SLV. So a lot of these candles, we're closing the gap on a lot of these stocks. So good stuff, guys. Good luck, and we'll talk to you later. Take care for now. Bye-bye.